Backstage! 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 Backstage!
Hello and a very warm welcome to episode 109 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. I'm your host Chris Saverick, and on the SBTS we try to get a flavour of our local football here in East Sussex, but in particular the club I follow for my sins, Hastings United. On episode 109 we talked to one of the Hastings family, youth striker Davide Rodari. We talk Barnes' departure, his future and his thoughts on the return of Aggie. Then it's the SBTS fan roundtable. We talk our feelings on that Barnes new era, departures, and the return of that English Jose himself, CHRIS AGUTTER. Enjoy, SBTS fans. And over to Davide Rodari. It gives me great pleasure to have the wonderful Davide Rodari, not only striker for Hastings, but a lover of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Yeah, which we will be talking about. It's
Perfect.
my podcast, so I want to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. It doesn't have to all be about Hastings. David, it has been a good couple of years since I spoke to you.
I know, yes.
Do you remember who was on with you?
I think...
Henry.
Henry, oh yes.
Yeah. Henry Brookshaw, who now he was a little lad that, for the people that haven't seen that episode, it was a lad that was absolutely obsessed with David and did lots of like nice drawings of him and all this sort of stuff. Now he is now about 4 foot taller. You know,
is it?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry, Dav. He's probably more interested in girls now than drawing pictures of football.
That's fine. I don't blame him.
But yeah, so it's been a while. So just to kind of. Like you then moved on to, actually when I interviewed you, I think you'd just gone to Crawley.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That was just at the start.
Yeah, so you did Crawley, Worthing, and Dartford, Dorking.
Yeah, Dorking. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my god, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. So
been everywhere.
Yeah. What? Like, because obviously you, like with us, you had a really terrible run of injuries.
Yes.
And you managed to bounce back because of that mindset you got, you've which is brilliant. How that last couple of years, do you want to just maybe go through what that kind of journey?
Yeah, just since I left Hastings, yeah. So joined Crawley, signed obviously a 2.5-year deal, which was good. So so if anything happened with my injuries, at least I had some sort of protections as well. Yeah. Obviously, full-time club. It was good, but I did expect more from it, just because of the way we kind of trained at Hastings with Aggie, because it was sort of almost full time. We were training like 2 mornings and 1 evening as an only club, and then obviously joining Crawley was every day. But like I said, the things that surprised me the most is not so much the facilities, because there's not many leagues in between, obviously National League and League Two, but it's mainly more like the training wise. What I did, I think the most I've improved was when I was at Hastings, and then obviously since leaving, I did improve, but not as much as I thought I would have. Okay. This could be part of me or part of the coaching, it could be both. So I'm not gonna just blame the coaches. Yeah. And then obviously the first six months at Crawley were really good, because I think I made about 13 appearances or something like that. Scored 1 goal, which was good as well. Just something to tick off my football career, and then after that it went downhill at Crawley, but obviously as a personal career I think it went uphill for me going out on loan, because obviously I gained experience at National League level. Obviously I got to experience the promotion with Dorking, which everyone talks about now. Everyone watches their YouTube channel and a bunch of amateurs. Something that I've been part of.
Yeah.
And
what do you make of that guy? That manager? the manager chairman, is he?
You know what, people.
Is he like that in real life?
Yeah, oh yeah, he loves a banter. He loves taking the piss to you, but obviously he's kind of like he doesn't mean it. Like what I like about him is that when he jokes, like he always finds the right time to joke, but then when it's time to actually do work, he puts his head down and stuff. And like I said, I think people underestimate him because obviously he's got no coaching badges or anything, so they might think, oh, he can't be a coach, but he could be up there with my top 3 coaches of as a what he gives you tactically and what kind of information he gives you about the other team. So he's always been right when I was there. How the other team would have scored, how they would have played and stuff. So yeah, it was good. And then I joined Worthing the year after for a little bit before joining Dorking. So that was good. And then the year after, I just sort of, because the new manager coming in, I thought, I'm not gonna waste time around.
Yeah.
Like I did not the first half, but the first proper year when I started pursuing with Crawley, where I sort of just waited to see where I was gonna go, or if I was gonna be in and around the team. Obviously with injuries, that killed me a little bit, but yeah. And then the last year, because a new manager coming in, I did all pre-season, and then I basically just said to him straight away, I said, do you want me to stay or go on loan? And obviously he said he would have rather me to go on loan to get some games and stuff like that, because obviously he didn't think I was ready to be in star 11 or bench. So I said, yeah, that's fine. And then last year was probably my best year I've had in football, really. Because obviously with Dartford was really good.
Yeah.
I did leave in January for some certain reason. One of them was just because I didn't like the way, I didn't think it was beneficial to me how they played. Because obviously I want to score goals and stuff, where I only scored 3 goals in about 20 appearances. Even though I was playing most of the time, I just thought, I have to score goals to get noticed and stuff.
Yeah.
Even though when I left, we were second in the league, so it was good. And then when I joined Worthing, it was a really good 6 months. Hinch obviously known him when he was at Hastings and stuff. He just sort of brought me in, and even if I was playing as a winger, I was getting in and around the box. So where we played, we absolutely smashed him. And then we got to the playoff semi-finals. We won the first round against Braintree, scored as well, which was good. And then, semi-finals we lost against, to be fair, Oxford were really good. Obviously, they got up as well that year. And then we played at the Amex and won the Sussex Senior Cup, which was an experience, a really good experience.
Yeah. Okay, so then, as I said, I spoke to our ex-manager, Paul Barnes, not that long ago. Said that they kind of put a squad together, and then you and Adam become available. I don't know if it was he knew Adam or he knew you, or how that happened.
Tony, he did ask me around June time. What was I doing? And obviously I was just waiting on some clubs to see what they could offer, propose. So I just waited while Stoney did put me an offer. And then I just said to him, I basically said to him, look, just don't wait around for me.
Yeah.
Because yes, I'd love to come back and help, but like I said, I want to play as high as I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want to give you a promise that I might not be able to keep. Because obviously, in the meantime, you could go and look for other players in my position and stuff. So I just waited, and then obviously nothing happened. Or there was something that happened in the summer, but then it just kind of went all tits out. So, and then I went and did pre-season with another team. Well, to be fair, I can say it was Havant Waterlooville.
Yeah, yeah.
And then obviously they said I didn't do well enough, so they couldn't offer me anything, and which was fair enough. Everyone's got their own opinion.
Yeah.
They're not doing great now, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then I kind of how can I say it? And then I did message him.
Yeah.
And we kind of messaged him at the same time, and I said, look, I'll come because I wanna play in a team or in a club where I know people love me. I was there before, and I can score goals in that league and stuff. I played higher before, so now I know how to play even better. And then and obviously because I knew Barnsley before, I didn't know him as a person yet. But he kind of when I had an injury, when I did my first ACL, second one, he did send me a message, a nice message about obviously if I need any help, to just let him know and stuff. And I did play against him when he was at Dulwich as well, and I was at Dartford. Yeah, and then I thought, why not coming back? Like, score goals. Like, I would love to. Obviously, I didn't get promoted with Hastings that year because I left the year before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting a promotion, like especially to the Conference South. Like I said, that would be unreal for the club and for myself as well.
Yeah. Well, right now it would be. Yeah.
I know what. There's still time, Like
yeah. No, I know.
It's still early in the season. And then Adam was with our club at that time as well, and it just, we couldn't wait around because we live in a flat. We live together, me, him, and Jamie, so we had to pay bills. And then at that time we weren't working because obviously we just came from full-time football. So I said to him, I said, look, you played that before. It's totally different now than it was. Like new players, new managers. Like, because obviously I was there before him for like 2 weeks. So I kind of told him what it was like. I said, look, I reckon you're gonna love it because everyone's from London. Barnes is a really good coach, good guy. Like he will take care of you and stuff, which he did.
Yeah.
So we both went, and it's even better now because obviously we play together, like we did at Dartford as well. So it's good. It's good to play like obviously with one of your best mates.
Yeah. Okay. Right then. Okay. Well, you mentioned in Paul Barnes. What do we make of the Barnes project then? Because from my point of view, I mean, initially it started brightly, but fairly quickly. How should we say as a fan, David, as a fan, yeah. So please tell me even when I'm wrong. It seemed like some of the commitment levels went down, and we're very easy to score against now. And there was passengers in that team, in my opinion, and I felt that Paul was very loyal to a few of those players that maybe needed to maybe not be playing, should we say?
Yeah.
And putting you out on the wing all the time. I didn't get that one as well. But what's your thought? No one wants to hear what I think. Go on, please.
Yeah,
Dav.
I think, like we did have a tough run of games to start with, and like obviously even like Chesson and Concord, they might seem to be like really crap team, but they came from the Conference South as well. But they played higher last year, and for the last 2 years. So we did. I thought we had a good start. We didn't really play. We never how can you say, got into like proper gears. And I think even when we beat Cray and Concord like 3-0, I still think we weren't our best.
Yeah.
So I think we never really been to that level where we absolutely smashed them 5-0 or even 4-0 or even 3-0, but like you pop the shit out of them. But I think I do like Barnes, and I always liked him.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. He seems like he's always been nice.
The good thing about him that he takes you as a personal, like on a personal human level. So it's not just all about football. It's all about everything in life, which even coaches in the Premier League now. I think there was a Spurs manager. He was doing like what was it like an introduction to other coaches about obviously looking at players not just football level but human level, because obviously all that mental health that's happening and stuff. So that was good. But I think it was mainly the players. I think we sort of kind of got comfortable as well because we knew, we started really well, so we're gonna smash everyone now or whoever we want. And then we sort of forgot to do the basic,
That's a nice way of putting it, Davs. Yeah. And if it weren't for you, we'd have lost to Three Bridges as well.
I know.
Yeah, against their youth team. What's that about? Oh, anyway.
I know.
Yeah, I know lots of people have been asking me this stuff, Dav, so that's why I'm asking. Don't answer if you don't want to. But
and honestly, any questions?
Yeah, no, cool. But genuinely, Paul Barnes came across as a very nice guy. He was very nice in his interactions with people. He's still nice. I know a few of the fans are still talking with Paul because I know he ain't got a Twitter account anymore. But,
I know.
Instagram, don't go there. But on Instagram or something. And not all the best to the guy, but to me, he just come across as too nice and not being able to make those decisions when they needed to be made. People were letting him down, and he carried on picking them, and it's cost him his job, to be honest. And it's I mean, I don't know what you think about that.
No, I think you put it in the right way. Like I said, it's not his fault, or it was partially his fault, partially the players' fault, and he just obviously because he trusted the players he brought in, and that's why he brought them in. I think they kind of let him down. Not just those players. I think it was everyone. Like even me, ads. Like we lose and win as a team.
Yeah.
So
there were a few passages there, mate. Yeah, I don't know. We should move on from that.
That's right. There's a new era starting again. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that. So obviously Paul Barnes has gone. Wish him all the best. I think that the trigger was pulled at the right time. I feel that we've got time in the season to stability, turn it round, and let's see what happens. But the new era, and the new era is that we know, because this is coming out Saturday, that English Jose himself, CHRIS Agutter's back. What do you feel about that, Dav? Obviously, you've worked with a guy before. He'd done a great job at Hastings when he was here previously. What's your thoughts on Aggie coming back?
I think it's exciting just because what he did before as well. We were top of the league for 3 years in a row. Then obviously COVID and other rules like destroyed the league and stuff. But yeah, I honestly believe we can still get promoted now, especially now coming in this early as well.
Yeah. Yeah, any lines up? I know that there's probably going to be maybe another 1 or 2 departures. Anyone in that you can give us a sneak peek about? That this is coming out on Saturday, so
I have no idea.
Dav, you're not a good spy. You're not a good spy for me, Dav. Let's talk about and then we'll go there. Right, okay, Dav. So Aggie coming in. We mentioned departures there. Dav, are you with us for a period of time? What's your future looking like?
Well, I just want to, like I said, my aim for this season is to score between 25 and 30 goals or more, and then obviously see where that takes me. But like I said, because now Aggie coming in as a manager, I'll probably want to stick with him as well, unless any obviously, because the good thing about the club that they will never stop me going anywhere like they did before. So obviously, if any full-time clubs come in and offer me something, obviously it will be hard to say no.
Of course,
it's a full-time job, yeah. But like
short
I said,
career.
Yeah, but like I said, anywhere else I probably wouldn't go because I did get a few offers, but I turned them down just because it's not always like, it's just, how can I say, you have to just make the right choice with the right club.
Yeah.
And it's not all about it's not even money and stuff like that, but it's mainly who you play with, who's going to be your coach, the location as well. I'm happy at Hastings and,
Good. Actually, this would be quite interesting for the fans. In terms of the players that are still here, have you got any good connection with, obviously Adam, but have you, what do we think of John Ufer? Obviously Jason, Sammy.
Yeah.
Any particular players that are worth a shout out despite what's happened this season?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I think everyone's been good. It's been dealing well with the situation. We haven't won any games in the last month. Everyone still try their best. Even Saturday, especially for those players coming from London that joined because Barnsley brought them in. They played with players they never played before. And our average age was really young as well. We had Kian, Jamal, Freddie comes back in. We had Ibi that was his second game or first half of the club as a left back. And even on the bench, I think they were all from the academy except Teo. So I think and DT obviously. Fair play to them. Yeah, they're still working hard and despite what's happening.
Do you think they're going to stick around, David?
I think once they meet Aggie and see the way he coaches, I think me and Ads did say something to them already about who's gonna come in and stuff. So we kind of warned them that he's gonna turn into a good season now.
We're going to talk about Margate. And then we're going to talk fan questions quick. Okay, so right. Okay, so obviously Tuesday, recording this Monday. Tuesday we got Margate. Now Margate, who managed a decent win on Saturday. Usually down the bottom half of the table, Margate, but they're doing okay. Terry, just for your information now, David, we have a lady that comes on, Terry from Margate, a massive Margate fan. She did tell me that that just as a whisper that their boys very dodgy around the penalty box, give away silly fouls in and around the penalty box. I'm just planting seeds. Just planting seeds there, Dav. Yeah. Okay. But a game that is possible to get a result from. I mean, how's the camp feel? How do you feel about it, Dav?
I think we can go. Even on Saturday, we didn't really get into the game thinking, we'll take a point, because we started really well, and obviously we were 0-0 at half time, and then obviously 2 mistakes, even for myself. The second goal cost us the game, which and then they just took it. So that happens. You can just see. I think they kind of shown why they are third in the table, just because they're ruthless in and around the box. So, but like I said, at least we lost, but we tried our best. We run. Everyone did their best.
The fans that were there said that. They also said that if we'd had a bit of luck, we might have been 1 or 2-0 up early doors.
Even the first 10 minutes, Kian Moyes that just came back. I don't know if he was on loan or he was just with the academy. He came back. His first game with us, he had 2 chances in the first 10 minutes. But it happens.
It happens.
Like I said, at least we did what we were supposed to do. And also we at half time we did say to ourselves we want to come back on 0-0 and not 1-0 down like we did any other games before, because at least we know we're still in the game.
Yeah.
Even on 1-0 down we're still in the game, and on 2-0 we did have a few chances and stuff, but that's just football.
Yeah. Well, it's important. I mean, as I say, the fans that said they were there, that was in terms of effort levels and that was vastly improved.
Yeah, but we'll definitely go Tuesday to Margate with a win mindset. We'll want to win. We want to put things back on track.
Yeah, is it going to be it's going to be David up the middle, yeah? Not out on the bloody wing, yeah? Up the middle?
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah. Well, I don't do the formation, so hopefully back in the middle again.
Just when they get the whatever it is, the little piece out, on the map to say where everyone's playing, you just put your that's where I am. Thank you. But, well, okay, great stuff. Well, listen, talking of that, we're talking obviously DR7. Let's talk CR7. What? First of all, him going from Manchester. Obviously, we haven't spoken about this. It's a shocker. I can't stand Man U. How they can treat him like that. And then
you're a Man U fan or not?
Me? No, I was QPR. That's where I'm from, QPR. So I've got no idea about anything at football. We're terrible. Cristiano. First of all, him leaving Manchester and how you think he's getting on with the Saudi League. Obviously, I keep seeing all these worldies that he keeps scoring. The man's a genius. Yeah. But your thoughts?
I think, the thing is he's Saudi, I think, is doing what the MLS did a few years back then when they start bringing all Beckham, Henry, they were all going to America. And he's such a influence because since he's gone there, he was the first player to go there. Now everyone is literally following him. And I know it could be also the money, because obviously if a club offers you 25, 30 million a year and a club offers you 2 million in the Prem, you're not going to say no, are you?
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, but the thing is with him, is his age as well. So I think he just wanted to he wanted to go somewhere where he's actually appreciated as well. I think that was his main thing first. And obviously he didn't want to go to any other club. Firstly, they can't really afford his wage. But I'm hoping he will go back to Sporting maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe.
One more year or a few more years before he retires back to his old club. Because then he could still play Champions League. And, the Portuguese league is probably even better than the French league right now. It's a bit more competitive. So
yeah, I was going to say, there's no point going France. France is just...
But
that's like the Scottish league. That's like the Scottish league, you know what I mean?
Fair play to him. He's still banging goals. I know it's an easier level, but it's easier for him though. So.
It's all easy for him, man. The man's a genius.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Messi he went to PSG at 35 where Ronaldo was in Serie A and Man U, and he still banged 18 goals in the Prem at 30. Was it 36?
He's the GOAT. We all know he's the GOAT, man. Messi.
I love Messi, but
I like Messi, but he ain't on the same.
No, I don't. It's even same mindset. I don't think he is.
Right, and fan questions. Right, fan questions. Okay, right. Nick, the lovely Nick behind the goal. Nick, Will you be off in December when the Bernie money runs out?
No.
No. There you go, Nick.
No. Like I said, unless there's any opportunity to join a full-time club, but it has to be the right club though. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, like us as Hastings fans, we understand. Do you know what I mean? It's not. You know, you get offered a full-time deal, you're gonna, you'd be mad not to. Yeah. Okay, Keith Wareham, what's your preferred position?
Striker.
Howie's asked about, do you plan to play in the higher leagues again? Obviously, you've answered that, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, when the right time comes and the right club, like I said.
Okay. Simon Stoddard asks, are you staying? Kind of answered that.
Yeah.
Okay. And Matt Fortin's asked, with everything going on behind the scenes, what's team morale like? And he says, I imagine it can't be easy at times.
No, it's tough. Like I said, because most of the players came from as well teams that I was winning every game last year with Worthing and Dartford. So coming from in the playoff, John was at Billericay where they had a good season. Jason was in the playoff final for Ivetown. It's not really like it is tough in the situation, but I think everyone still does their best. Prepare every game like we want to win them. So I think, like I said, once Aggie introduced himself to the players, I think there will be a big boost to all the players as well, especially the ones they've been with him before.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Ben Bennett asks, what do you make of the new owners?
Well, they obviously Dean, Ben, and Glyn. They've been around the club for years, and obviously Ben, ex Wimbledon coach, Dean, professional football player, Glyn was a coach at Hastings and other clubs as well. So yeah, I think nothing changes for them. As well, the plan is always the same, which is getting promoted or get into the playoff and try and do something. Yeah.
All right, and Dav. So I want to know how many you get in Tuesday, and then how many you get in Saturday. So Tuesday,
there's a thing. I am off for Saturday though because I got 5 yellows.
Oh, okay. So you're not on Tuesday, but you're.
No, I'm on Tuesday.
You're on Tuesday.
But I can't play Saturday.
That's extra goals you got to get tomorrow then.
Yeah, yeah. Minimum a hat trick. Minimum. I know. Minimum.
The Hastings fans expect. No. Take care, Dav. Thank you for your time.
You too, Chris.
And see you Tuesday. Yeah. No,
yes.
You're welcome, mate.
Perfect.
Take care. And now over to the SBTS Fan Roundtable. Many thanks to Simon, all the way from the Philippines, Ian and Ben for making it happen.
What time is it in the world of Simon Stoddart?
3:32 a.m.
Oh, bloody hell.
And as from this coming weekend, it'll be an 8-hour time difference. It's 7 hours at the moment, and of course you lucky lot get the clocks going back at the weekend, don't you?
Blimey.
We do. Is that lucky? I've never considered myself to be lucky for that. Having that happen.
If there's one thing I do not miss about being in England, it's those bloody clocks going back. Horrendous.
I'm sure I've had one of those famous Simon Stoddard rants on Facebook or Twitter about that. I'm sure you.
Oh, they're in somewhere. There will be. There will be. Yeah, it's awful. Hated it. Yeah, so I won't miss that. It gets dark about the same time every day out here, between 5:45 and 6:10 throughout the year, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, but never mind. I'll get it sorted out. I've been following from afar what's been going on in
not
Hastings.
been much happening, to be fair.
No,
nothing really.
Oh, Jesus. I've never known a 6-month period like it.
It's a thriller in Manila, mate. Thriller. This is going to be a thriller in Manila.
Well, thank Christ for the internet, because it does keep me in touch 90%. But there's some things you miss by not being there, definitely.
And some things you don't mind missing by not being there.
Yeah. But you do an invaluable job there, Chris, with your podcast, mate. I think people don't get involved so much because it's just a bit of a palaver getting in on it. I always struggle a bit with Zoom for some reason, and that's why I asked you earlier on how to join the bloody thing, because I
don't give away the magic, Simon. You're giving away the magic now. Okay, you didn't try it. You came on this first time, didn't you?
Yeah, smooth as silk it was.
Smooth as silk.
Yeah, it's a great podcast, mate. It really is. It's invaluable.
There's money being sent to Luzon.
We've got to be able to fit his head on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. What I like the best is see here. It's Brave New World. You know the book. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is for the episode 109. The previous, I do like a thumbnail for every episode. I don't know if anyone ever notices. I might just do it for myself, my own pleasure. But the previous one had Femi, Bailey, and Craig Stone on it.
All right.
All together. So I do these things like 6 to 8 weeks ahead of time, when I can. And obviously, we'll talk about it later, but it appears they've all gone. So it's my influence, obviously, to get rid of these people, I think.
The one I was sorry to see go was Bailey. I don't quite know what that's about. I think Akinwande goes where the money is.
Do you think? Really?
I think. Yeah. Well, somewhat cynically. Yeah. It just
pay as you go, Femi. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what the thought amongst you lads was. We Hastings play up at Hornchurch the other night, and then next minute he's signed for him. But then that's semi-professional football, isn't it? It happens like that. So
we even gave him a lift there. I mean, how? I mean, it's got, look how we look after these people.
Well,
anyway. Just to say, this is episode 109 of the Fan Roundtable. We're already cracking into it. The wonderful Simon Stoddard here from Luzon in the Philippines.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Nice one, mate.
And Ian Grant, after lots of drop-offs, I don't know what type of things he was dropping off, but he was dropping them off. And Ian's here as well. Thank you, first of all, chaps, for being on. Wonderful lads. Again, the Hastings fans have outdone themselves. Constant requests to be on this podcast, but they're lucky too. Ian and Simon, they're the winners today. Please carry on. Anyway, Simon, we were saying.
Well, so far as this is concerned, well, I'll keep blasting for you on in my program column. I'll be quite
gut feeling, yeah.
Yeah, I'll try and get more people. I'll try and push the case for it. Push the case for your podcast on there, mate. And it's a shame, really. I think tonight's just unfortunate. It's weird, really, because it's been such an interesting week, and yet I've only got a couple of people come in. It's weird,
Simon.
Isn't it?
It's very fortunate. 2 wonderful minds such as yourself and Ian's to come on I feel very proud.
I'm sure the three of us will do our best. I do sympathise, mate, because it's similar to my days of doing the fanzine all those years ago. You get to the stage where you think, it'd be nice if somebody else helped me out with some material or whatever, and there's a limit to what you can do on your own, isn't there?
No, it's true. It's true. And obviously, shout out to anyone, please. Every week, I'm always got that invite out there. It's good fun. I don't know what else to say.
There are no reprisals afterwards.
Yeah,
Nothing bad has happened to me as a consequence of being on this roundtable over the however long it's been.
Or
to be fair, nothing outstandingly good has happened either.
Exactly.
It's been all right.
You don't have to look over your shoulder. That's the main thing.
No more than I do normally.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Near that West Hill, mate. Anyway, well, it's been a tumultuous few weeks since the last pod has been out. It only felt like 3 weeks ago, I feel. 3.5 weeks ago that I did an interview with Paul Barnes where we talked about budgets in the future. And, well, the Barnes era came to an end after, a run of poor results and poor performances. Defeat to Wingate and Finchley 3-2, and he was sacked a few days later. I wasn't at that game. We're going to talk about the Barnes era, the long dynasty that it was. But you were at the 3-2 defeat, weren't you, Ian?
I was, yeah. It was a strange game. It's we were talking on the podcast in the week before about how it was kind of near enough a must-win game, and we were as flat as we had been in the previous weeks. Really, I can put a certain amount of it down to lack of confidence. You get on a bad run and confidence falls and all that sort of thing. But it was very flat, and we didn't really create very much. They didn't really create very much either. We had a horrendous mix-up for the first goal just before half time, so that meant we were behind. And then they scored 2 goals quite early in the second half, so we were 3-0 down. They were, again, bad goals to give away, really. So at that point, 3-0 down, the atmosphere was mutinous, electric. I think it would be fair to say. And you sort of thought, well, this could get really ugly. And then we kind of reacted. It was like, various players got sufficiently pissed off that that things started to happen, and we got 2 goals back quite quickly, sort of pushed without really convincing for an equaliser. But there was just that sort of 20-minute period after we'd gone 3-0 down, whereas, particularly Davide, but others were kind of really pushing on, really, being a bit brave with the ball, a bit more committed. And you just sort of thought, God almighty, why can't we be like this more often? Why does it have to be 3-0 down at home to a not very good team before we actually really get sufficiently riled up to have a go? So it was a very unsatisfying afternoon, and it was not a great surprise, the news the next day, I think it's fair to say.
No, I know. It was very handy. I couldn't make that game because I was working. I managed to borrow my season ticket to someone, so I actually felt glad that I missed that one, which is and the person I borrowed it to wasn't happy that they saw that, but free game anyway. So the Barnes era came to an end. I think we kind of touched on it earlier in the other podcast, the week before, the few weeks before, that the way things were looking, that something needed to change. Obviously, Simon, you've been away, so you've not seen it, but there was particularly lack of effort, lack of commitment from not all the players, but a key few who have since moved on. Let's just say,
right.
And it was very un-Hastings. There's certain things that are drummed into those players that have been trained up, obviously, by the Dean Whites of the world, that there's a certain level of commitment and a passion and certain standards that are just a given, no matter if you're winning or losing. And and Paul Barnes kept playing those people. Paul Barnes carries on being a nice guy. He's still a nice guy, making nice statements about everyone.
Well, he talks a good game, doesn't he? Talks a good game.
I know. As I was saying to David, because I've got an interview for this week, I did with David RODARI. I did it on Monday. and he says how much of a nice guy he is, and he was, and it's like, as I said to David, it's like, well, there's a point where you can't be a nice guy anymore. If the people that you're picking are not doing it for you, you need to, and well, this cost him his job, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, it's only 10 games in, but Ian, how bad has it been?
Well, I mean, it's been pretty bad. As I think I said last time around, that the first half against Kingstonian, where was just, I mean, it was really awful. And that's the worst I've seen for really quite some time. I think, you know, obviously there's the factor of the fact that he's not the new owner's guy, so that means that he's slightly having to prove himself. And you know, it went okay at the start of the season, but then once things start to tail off, I sort of think any team can kind of go on a run of bad results, but you have to. But when you're not getting any kind of response from the players, there's no kind of level of performance to bounce back, no intensity, no sort of sense that it's really hurting anybody. That becomes a real worry. You know, that's more of a worry than the results. I think the performance is really, and it was it was so flat, so lacking in any kind of intensity. The kind of leaders that you would expect to stand up were very quiet. It was all very quiet from the touchline, which I don't really mind managers being quiet on the touchline sometimes, because I think sometimes all the kind of constant flow of information must do players' heads in. But you sort of think, well, you're only getting maybe 1 or 2 coaching sessions with these players a week. So in a sense, the time when you're on the touchline and they're on the pitch is another coaching session, isn't it, really? And if there's nothing coming, it was very, very quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're following Gary Elphick, who's notably not very quiet. So it's quite a contrast. But yeah, it was just, it was going nowhere, really, unfortunately.
Yeah, it did crash and burn very quickly. It felt to me like people just didn't fancy it. They just decided they didn't fancy it. There was nothing there. You think, you know, we've all, God, Watford QPR fans, we've all seen crap football. We've seen us when we've been down. Yeah. But you always had those people out there that were like, you know, trying to, if it's not going for you, let's keep it simple, G the boys up, you know, and it just was so just defeated. It was just such a, you know, and it just shows you with obviously the change with obviously Don Vose going and Tyler Christian Law, and I'll put it on record as that's the worst captain I've ever seen on a football pitch, let alone someone thinking they're the best player. I honestly don't know. Well, maybe I'll watch a different game, and maybe because I'm a fan, you know, I'm now trying to think
who the worst captain I've ever seen is. So I'll try and come back to you with an answer.
Well, with the shortest reign, I mean, like at Hastings, that's the worst I've seen. I mean, when we start talking, obviously our clubs, QPR, Watford, there's a fine array of
that certainly is.
piss poor talent there as well. So, so maybe I'm proving myself wrong, but again, it was just people just didn't fancy it, and absolute praise to the owners. They weren't having that, and we changed it quickly.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I think the other thing is, you know, this division is quite a tough division. And if you look at the teams we've lost against recently, they are not the teams at the top of the division. And it's just, if you're not on it in this, you know, against even teams down towards the bottom, if you're not on it, they'll beat you.
Yeah.
And we've found out that the kind of hard way, we've slightly attempted to breeze through some of these games, I think, looking at the league table a little too much, maybe.
I think the start that they got off to possibly, I don't know, brought in a little bit of overconfidence. I don't know. Seemed too good to be true. But then again, as Ian says, you know, look who we've been playing. You know, you're playing teams towards the bottom. I mean, the fixture, what the fixtures came up with for those first few games was unbelievable, really. And you had the win at Dulwich, which I follow every game from afar, and I was following that. I thought, look at that, 2-1 up away to Dulwich, brilliant. But Dulwich have been shit this season. They've been terrible.
Dulwich have got a completely new team. Their whole team went all the relegated clubs. Most of their players left at the end of last season. Yeah. And it's just something we're not used to. Like, I'm not used to it, and you know, I'm like very emotional when all the lads went. I'm not used to that. I'm used to a core being there. So it's I saw that
I saw that 20 years ago when we got relegated in 2002, 2003, and it was bloody heartbreaking to see what was a good team just break up and go, which is what you get in football at whatever level, I suppose. In particular, semi-professional football. That was horrendous, seeing all those players go. Seeing 3 of them go along the road to Eastbourne Borough really rubbed salt in the wound. It's a bit like the 3 lads that went to Whitehall.
Oh yeah, Whitehawk, yeah,
and going to Lewis. But the thing was that back then you had an idea of what it was all about, because we'd just been relegated, and Mick Mapleston, who was the owner at the time, the lottery winner number 2, he had his health problems, and the financial aspect of keeping the club going was beginning to bite home for him. And so he called it a day. So you could see what was going to happen. But what's happened this last... Where it started with Billy Wood going, and then I watched Gary Elphick's interview on YouTube, and I thought, geez, he does not sound upbeat. This is on the back of 2 really good seasons, a promotion season, and then we've just missed out on the playoffs at the higher level a year later. We've had 2 bloody good seasons. And listen to him. He does not sound like he's had a meeting with the owners, whatever, and something has transpired there. And that was just the start of the mass exodus, wasn't it? And there's never been and it still bugs me that there's never been any great explanation for it, just letting people know what was going on. I put something in the programme about it at the beginning, and Paul Hoggard, who puts together a bloody good programme, he got torn off a strip by Darren Burney about it. And all he'd done was reproduce what I said. Bernie never came and said anything to me. And 2 weeks later, he's gone. So the whole thing's bizarre, to be honest.
It's all down to you, Simon, then.
It's my fault. Yeah, it's my fault and Paul Hoggard's fault, for having the nerves. And basically, what I said was just tell people what's going on. You're watching all those players go. You watched a full first-team squad disappear one by one. And just think if we kept that squad with maybe a couple going, which is what you get, and added Adam Lovett and David RODARI to that lot, Gordon Bennett, where would we be now? But we'll never know, will we?
Early days, Simon. Season's not over.
Yeah. Well, Chris, it's a big gleam of light at the end of the tunnel getting Chris back. I'm just so pleased about that.
No, we've got the wonderful Ben Bennett here. Ben, we were going to just start talking about Aggie. Eddie, do you want to maybe just quickly touch on the Paul Barnes era? We've had a little bit of a conversation about it, but anything you want to add to it?
Since the last time? Well, it was last
he
time
weren't sacked. He weren't sacked last time, was he?
No, that was just after Hornchurch, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in between Hornchurch and Wingate, wasn't it? It was. I wasn't too upbeat at that point, to be honest. I was trying to find positives out of nothing. The Hornchurch first half was all right, but yeah, it was. Sadly, you never like to say it, but I thought it was coming. I think it had been brewing for 2 or 3 games. So sadly, but that's it now. The thing is, that's it. We won't be talking about players like Tyler Christian Law next week, will we?
I think Chris will be.
I went into one on it. I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
That's one sort of player that we're not going to remember, are we? Let's be honest. Remember him for not really hearing much about him until he gets booked in the game of football. But other than that, you can just see you later out the door.
And his song, that's been retired as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of it, that's for sure.
No, you were. You're the first to sing it, Ben.
Mate, I'm very picky sometimes. Anyway, yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
Just a sort of overall thing. It was just a shame. Obviously, it was tried out, and that was what was happening at the start. It was given a go, and yeah. So it's kind of it's another new era again now, isn't it? So let's go again.
Right. Yep. English Jose's back. In Aggie we trust. Yes, Chris Agutter's back. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with Aggie coming back. I think he's a good coach, and it works well with the youth, bringing the youth through. He's done an absolutely superb job over a number of years with us until he moved on. And what a cracking start as well. 2-1 against Margate. Simon, what do you think from afar? You're just observing this on the internet. What are you making of it all?
I do my best to keep up, and the internet's a godsend. And there's Facebook, WhatsApp, the podcast. There's various things that help me keep up to date. But you can't beat being there, and that's why I'm looking forward to January. I'm back for 3 or 4 weeks in January to catch up with family, blah blah blah, and I'll obviously get some games in while I'm there. Following from over here, it's I don't know. It's just been a weird 6 months, hasn't it? And the new team, I couldn't believe how well they started. And then it was almost as if one loss seemed to just bring it all to a crashing end, didn't it? And I couldn't really make up what was going on with it. And the FA Cup losing it. I'm not a fan of the FA Cup now. That's something else that we might discuss at some stage. The FA Cup.
Well, we're not in it, so we're not discussing.
I think it's a grossly overrated competition now. That they were devalued. It's
devalued. Yeah, I'd agree. It's devalued,
totally
but not
devalued. So is the trophy. When they talk about going to penalties after 90 minutes, what a joke, But anyway, it was just one.
He's having a rant. Go on, carry on.
It was one defeat after another, and then you had that, and then the one win in all that lot was against Three Bridges. So a Step 4 side who put quite a few kids out in the Sussex Senior Cup, and that was never going to light the fires, was it? And sure enough, a couple more defeats followed that, didn't they? But that was fantastic Tuesday night, and it just seemed appropriate with Aggie back, didn't it? I mean, for you guys who were there, must have been really good. I certainly enjoyed it here. I tried not to wake the missus up, I'm punching the air. When I saw Davide had scored in the 80th minute, I tried desperately hard not to wake the missus up.
Have you seen the goal? It's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Lovely goal. Lovely well-taken goal.
That's another thing that makes it that really helps. Joe Knight's videos, and of course Neo Bridges videos. I mean, that one he did against Haringey when Akinwande got that winner in the last minute or whatever. What a video that was! Oh,
was that the forward roll one? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he's done that. Did he do that deliberately? I mean, I don't know. Absolutely brilliant. So
he needs to work on his he needs to work on his routine. We were expecting like jumping jacks, backward rolls. He hasn't done any of that yet. He hasn't topped it yet.
Yeah, but there's various ways of helping to keep up with it from afar, and which would have been impossible not many years ago, So, and I'd still do my program column.
You do. Thoughts on Aggie though? Thoughts on Aggie, Simon?
Aggie, great, because he started it all off because he came with Adam Hinchelwood, didn't he? And Hinchelwood was in charge then, and of course Hinchelwood went to Worthing. And so Aggie took over and gradually worked his way of doing things in. You don't agree with everything the manager does. We never do, because we're all good managers, aren't we? We're all better than the guy that's standing in the technical area. But Aggie kicked things off to where we are now. And Gary Elphick was quick to say that he was so grateful to CHRIS AGUTTER for helping him get things going the way he did. I know that we'll start hearing the thing about playing from the back again and all that. I'm sure we'll hear all that, but I just want to see some stability. I just want to see some. I just want to see some stability, mate. That's what I want to see. Stability, and I'd settle for mid-table finish happily, and then take it from there. Okay. I'm glad to get Chris back. Really am.
Okay. Well, I think it's brilliant news. I think it's a brilliant appointment for where we are now. Apart from anything else, it's not really that dissimilar to the kind of situation he inherited the first time around, when we were just in a bit of a muddle, and we kind of needed some stability and structure, and we needed to kind of remember what we were trying to do, really, what the fundamentals of the club are about. And he laid all of those foundations. Then gradually, I think I don't quite get the people who bang on about his style of play as if it's just a one-dimensional thing, because the reality was that he started with quite a one-dimensional style of play. It was very passy, but then built on that layer upon layer, and then you ended up the kind of team that Gary Elphick inherited, which was a league winning team. So there's much.
And that's what it's about. And that's what it's about, mate.
And those foundations really lasted until the summer. That's the team that went in the summer. So we've got to lay those foundations again. But I think you look through that squad. There's some good young players in there. It's really good to see some of them back. I'm really happy to see Cian Moynes back. Nobody ever mentions him, but I think he's a really promising, full of potential. And yeah, it's an exciting prospect, I think, to see all of that. Hopefully getting players back, being coached in a system that's consistent with a manager who really believes in it all. Hopefully it settles a few people with regard to the owners as well, in that, we know that Chris Agutter's quite an ambitious young man. He wants to get on in the game. He's not going to be hanging around if the club's stagnating. We also know that he's not slow to resign should the circumstances be not to his liking. So hopefully we can all move forward. We can get the young players firing. You can see that the squad needs a bit of reinforcement now that everybody's gone. But that team that was named on Saturday and Tuesday, you think, well, that's brilliant. Load of young players. That's a load of things for a proper coach to work with, and bring it on. Really.
All right, lovely. Right, Ben, you want to go crack in?
Yes. Well, I'm just slightly different to you guys because I got kind of the back of the Chris Agutter's reign in a way, because I was up in Scotland for so many years, so I didn't really see much Hastings football up until so it's like the back end, and then Gary took it on. So I only caught sort of the back end of it really, for actually going up to the pilot field and that. But obviously,
what you caught, Ben, was the end of a passing sequence that we started in like 3 seasons before. We were passing it sideways for 3 seasons, and then you arrived just at the point where we got it over the halfway line, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. This is all I keep hearing, though, to be honest.
With the main stand groaning in the background.
Yeah.
But that happened under Gary Elphick as well, and there was no please. I cast them as the main stand, sort of the ball brigade, because all they want to do is moan, to be honest, instead of support. So, yeah, but that's obviously a debate elsewhere. But yeah, I'm delighted, to be honest. I got lucky enough on Tuesday night. I actually got an extra bonus Q&A with Chris and Lee Parnell. Big shout out to Lee Parnell for driving Tuesday night, actually.
Yeah, top man.
I wouldn't have been there if he didn't drive, probably, because funds are not the greatest at the moment. So he's helped out great there. And who else was it? Me, you, Lee, and Kevin Westbrook. Lucky enough, a curry and chips.
Get around in Westbrook.
The back end of the players' sweet dinner. After match dinner, with a little bit of curry and chips and a few Q&As, and I was made up, to be honest. I was lucky enough to have been there, and sort of the positivity that was coming out of his mouth, and what he's obviously heard from what the owners are saying, and in another debate what could be happening with the pilot field as well. It was all so positive, and I can only go on that. From what it was a few weeks ago under Paul Barnes and some of the players that were there, I was from Tuesday night. It was a breath of fresh air from the moment we got in the car to travelling up there. It's just a different buzz around just going for a pint, and everyone's buzzing to have him back. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, I didn't see all his time there before, but what I've heard now and just Tuesday to go by, of just everyone's just seems to be fired up again, ready to go. It's like, come on, let's go. It's obviously there is work to do, but that was a young side out there Tuesday night, and they all put in a shift. And in the day we was there, we thought we'll take a draw. If it's a draw, we'll take a draw just to get a point back on the board and get up and running points wise in the league. And to come away with 3 points was just brilliant, and the scenes was justified with how they performed, and it was just great to be there, to be honest. The whole atmosphere was great as normal, but it was just that extra buzz. I just thought it was a great first game back for him. So and of course, and also when we spoke to him, he didn't have a lot of preparation going into the game. He didn't even have a training session with the players. It was a case of sort of, I think it was probably a few phone calls and get yourself up there. Whoever's not travelling with us, we'll meet at the ground and we'll have a chat then. So, and that was it. Just go with it. So it was pretty spontaneous in the way, and that's what makes it even better result, really, because the preparation wouldn't have been that great.
Well, what I find positive about it is obviously there's some of the London boys that are there that obviously, you think, maybe they're umming and ahhing about staying. Whatever he said to them, they were bang up for it. So, and they were playing like it. This is a different team from Wingate and Finchley, Kingstonian. This is, yes, a few players have gone. The Don Boses, the Tyler Christian, yours, but there is other players there that maybe their levels have gone down. They were up for it. I felt they were excellent. Like obviously Jamal, one of our youngsters that came in, great game. Obviously Freddie, David Rodari's finish, class finish, and even the Margate manager said that we were deserved winners. Like we were on top that game. We weren't lucky. That when we went 1-0 down, the heads didn't go down. Obviously, the fans behind the goal and everything, we kept giving our support as well. It was just a great away day, come back, 2-1 victory. It was just, it was just great to be there.
Also, with the fact with the youngsters as well, they're probably thinking, "Oh, this is great," because they've for weeks on end, going back to Paul Barnsley, he didn't like to change it. It felt like he was playing players because he brought them in. He was trying to make sure they
play him into form. I thought
the team almost picked itself every game, didn't it, for a while? And that happens when you're on a winning streak and you're winning games. And you don't mind, and that's what did happen when we were winning. But it didn't want to change it, did he? And then you felt for the youngsters who they might have come in for 45 minutes and then they were getting taken off, or they would only come in because someone was injured. And you don't know if they're going to play the next game. And even if they played well, you thought, well, probably one of his mates would come back in, and away we went. I.e., Tyler Christian Noor played pretty much every game, and I wouldn't have put him anywhere near the side in the first place, let alone captaincy. That's just a prime example. But it's brilliant for the youngsters to be, and they'll be coached brilliantly by him. It clearly is great for the youngsters. Obviously, he comes in from the Brighton Academy, where he's obviously finishing off his contract, whatever it is there, and it's brilliant for everybody, really. And like you say about the London lads, obviously they're not there. Not all of them have gone. Some of them are still here, and they were fired up just as much as what the youngsters was and what we were. Do you know what I mean? So that's so positive.
It was great. I'm very happy. And I was Terry Scott, who's not here, just to say, Terry Scott. She was too. Wasn't depressed, but she didn't want to come on. She was too down about her side. I must give her a shout out. The wonderful Terry Scott on Margate. Unbelievably, her own fans slagging her off. Margate, what a crap bunch of fans.
Awful.
Just like, and how many were there? Like a couple hundred?
Well, the attendance, they said, what I saw earlier was 293. I thought actually it was more than that there.
It felt like that, but that was just where we were, wasn't it? I mean,
I actually felt like more than what a Pilot Field crowd of 800 sometimes. But honestly,
the noise,
I actually thought there was more than that, and you think you could hear they were that quiet. You could hear just her from the other end of the ground. And you imagine what 14 of us voices were like, and a drum getting across there. You know what I mean?
We didn't sing to the Margate. We were singing to the Terry. That's what we were trying to get her to sing songs back at us, because their Margate would. What a terrible. Anyway, they don't deserve her. They don't deserve her.
We were singing to them, weren't we? Terry's too loud for you.
Yeah.
Is she available on the transfer at all? Can we negotiate terms?
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, bless her.
Chris would love that.
No, shut up with you. Right. No, but Terry Scott, lovely lady.
Yeah, she is.
She gave us all a stick of rock, didn't she?
She did.
A Margate stick of rock.
Margate rock. Yeah.
And 3 points. Thanks, Terry.
And a really good night. Cheers, Terry.
Yeah, that was very good. So, all right, and so we move on from Margate. We got a toughie Saturday. Carl Shorten. The league somewhat lies because they're fifth, but I think 7 games now without a win. So, what do we think, chaps?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they top at one point. They were top at one point, weren't
they? They're probably, because if they haven't won for 7 games,
they was well up there. They was well up there. First or second, whatever.
So,
you boys crack on. What do you think, Saturday?
Yeah, Ian. Simon?
Well, you just got to follow it up with a performance, haven't we? Otherwise Tuesday night only really means anything if we follow it up. So that's the thing. You just want a performance.
RODARI's banned for this game.
Oh, is he?
So it could be Harry Ralph up front.
Where was Freddie playing the other night? Was he coming down the right flank like he was last season when I last saw him? Freddie Legg.
Yeah, we was trying to work out the formation when the lineup come out. But I come to the conclusion it was like a 5-3-2 defensively, stroke 3-5-2 attacking, and Freddie was more like the right wing back.
Yeah, okay.
That's what that's how I looked at it, and he had like TT Walters was kind of swapping flanks as well. He was drifting all over. But yeah, Freddie was he was the right side anyway.
How was Ollie Black the other night? I saw his long throw creating mayhem then, and he came back pretty quick, didn't he?
Yep.
Very quick.
And he's the reason we were 1-1. Great throw in. They couldn't deal with it, and they politely put it in their own net. Bless them, Margate.
I know there's more to Ollie than his long throws, but he was wasted at county league level. I'm not 100% sure about him at this level, but it's good. It's good to get him back. I like Ollie. It's good to get him back. Was it the training? It was the training that up in London that saw him go in the first place, wasn't it? Was it?
Probably. I don't know. Or they didn't fancy him. I don't know about Ollie Black. Anything?
Well,
in terms of why he went.
I think without knowing the true facts, I think the training at Greenwich played a part in one or two of them. I think for sure.
Right.
Why they?
I'm sure.
I didn't. Well, what more? It's not up for me to say, but I didn't. I'm not sure how you could have a proper group of players. Some are training up there, some didn't even go sometimes, and then having split travelling. You can't get a proper team together. Can you?
It was a joke.
It was a bit of a mess, really. But yeah, that's like I say. I think it was more to do with a few of them didn't fancy the Greenwich. That was definitely an issue there, I think.
I'm sure Chris is beavering away, looking to get a few in, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Well, I think without knowing yet, I'd like to think there will probably be a couple coming in before Saturday.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, I can't see it being as it is from Tuesday night. I think even though it was a great result, whatever, but we know there needs to be a couple more additions.
I suppose if you can get them in time, though, that's the thing, isn't it?
There's still time, isn't it? Doesn't it? It all happens so quickly. No one wants to tell you nothing, and they just throw it out there. Well, look at that amazing signing, that last signing we had. He was signed, and then he didn't kick a ball, and he was away to Welling wherever he went. Kareem, wasn't it? Kareem.
No, the best one was Jamal Hector Ingram, but he did play a couple of games. He's still down. He's still down the pub. Maybe he had to have been there. It's his song. But yeah, so Carl Shorten. My heart says we're winning, but my head's thinking, we'll do well to let's just get a point. Let's just as long as we're solid,
Yeah.
It's not about.
I think we need to give people something to buy into, don't we? Because it has been a mess over the last few home games, and it doesn't really give anybody anything to kind of really get their teeth into. So a performance, a draw would be fine, really, wouldn't it? Just something to show that we're making progress, that we've got, that things are happening, things are changing for the better.
Well, hopefully the pilot field's going to be bouncing, and all us fans, and particularly the main stand, who I know are not going to moan at all.
To be fair, I don't think you can bounce in the main stand. I think
it'll come down,
fall down.
That'll upset John Wills.
Definitely bring it down.
I'm surprised a few moans and groans hasn't taken a few roof tiles off.
But I mean, as I say, I just think I think the atmosphere is going to be great Saturday. The weather might not be, and you never know, the weather might intervene here because the forecast ain't great. But
that'd be gutting, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah,
that would be gutting.
Sorry to bring that downer in.
Oh man,
I'm sorry.
I was happy before that.
Yeah,
you could just sense he's so pleased to be back. He feels like this is where he wants to be, and I think he'll turn quite a few heads from who obviously do have doubts about him. And I think with the backing, he's coming in under a different situation this time, isn't he? You've got totally different owners, proper Hastings people.
Yeah.
as in owners, and they're going to support him along the way. I think this is personally think this isn't just a stopgap. This could be for a while, and I think it'll be given the time. And then, like I say, the other things will fall into place. I think there's a lot of things about sponsorships and that getting done off the field as well. Obviously, getting tidied up. We see a lot. We're more engaged with the social media side of things more than we used to be. That sort of things getting sorted out. Just the small things, it'll all click into place hopefully. And going back to Aggie, I think he sounded absolutely buzzing that he was back, and he's just loving it. So let's go Saturday night. Carshalton will be a tough game. They've obviously got something to prove, them players, on the back of a bad run, and the place should be bouncing. Let's be honest. You're not going to please everybody, are you? At the end of the day, that's football. Everyone's going to have an opinion. You're not going to please everybody. Managers' decisions, players' decisions. It's very hard to get two people on the same page. But I think it's really positive, and if we can get a draw Saturday, it'd be a really good result, and it's stability as well, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. We're talking about obviously Aggie coming in. It's part of a few things, as you've already mentioned, Ben. That hopefully I'm going to get Ben White and Andy Batsford on. That there's some proper developments that are exciting about the pilot field, and this to me is just going hand in hand. The proper appointment, proper manager in, real good developments with the ground that are going to be great for the community as well. That I think most people are going to be on board with.
Do you know what the big thing is though? When you look at the situation of this time last year, and it also proves what a cracking job Gary Elphick did do with all the distractions of cough Eastbourne, which obviously was never happening, and also Carl Kiln and all that. That's a big distraction, and for the facts of the matter that Gary and the team put a lot of that, tried to shut away from all that. Would have been so hard, and to go and do what they did last season was really, really good. And that's what I mean. That's why it's so. Aggie has come in now, and he hasn't got that distraction, which is so important. There's no such thing about Tolkien's done whatever that's down Queensway and out of the way. But he can concentrate on the team, and like you say, we hear about little things about the pilot field and developments at the pilot field. It's only going to help. It's only positive.
There's the opportunity, isn't there, for the whole club to be pulling in the same direction, which hasn't happened for a little while, and potentially for the town to be backing that up as well. And that would be fantastic. That could be really something.
It feels like the council are obviously happy to work with the Whites, and it's so big, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah.
Instead of what was there before.
Well, it reached just an intractable point, hadn't it, with the previous owners? I mean, I think we've obviously been through all of the ins and outs of that, but it just got to that point where there was just no going back in terms of any kind of relationship between them and the council. And so, just starting that again is a great thing, really. Hopefully, it will yield some results.
Yeah, soon we can talk about that. Right, go on, Simon.
Have there been? Sorry, I'm cutting in a bit on the ground. Actually, have there been some developments regarding the pilot field, or are we still where we are and people getting to know each other and this and that and the other? Or
I think they've gone past the first date, Simon. They're on to coffee and chocolates now.
Oh right,
yeah.
I mean, that's a whole image that I really didn't want.
Yeah, no, Simon. There's lots of meetings going on, and hopefully something's going to be announced in the next week or two about the provisional sort of plans is what I'm aware of. So I don't really want to say anything and bugger anything up. So
yeah.
But hopefully we'll have obviously Ben on. I think there's a fan forum being arranged as far as I'm aware.
Excellent. And
I might catch him after that probably. But
was it not originally planned for 3rd, 4th November? I can't imagine.
Oh, what, the fan forum? I don't know. I ain't seen yet.
Apparently something was penciled in, but originally that was a while ago, so I heard. But I don't know if it's still taking place. But
find out Saturday.
I can imagine we might know something. But I felt
this
like
is Ben White you're talking about, yeah.
Well, Dean White, Ben White. Well,
yeah.
I imagine they'll be taking it along with obviously
with Chris
I imagine Aggie a bit up the front as well. I expect.
I remember Ben making his debut for Hastings Town when he was 15 against. He was 15 or 16, and he played a Southern League Premier game towards the end of the season. It was. This would have been back in, I don't know, the mid-90s, and he was about 15, I'm sure, and he made his debut against Halesowen Town in the Southern League Prem. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Did you barrack him?
He looked all right then. I still recall that. That was a long time ago. I also remember Dean when he was manager. He came to some sort of this was against Halesowen again. Might even have been the same game. We played Halesowen, and the referee was it was the last game of the season, and it was the referee's final game. He was retiring, and Dean came to an arrangement with the two linesmen. And maybe the opposing manager was in on it as well. And he pretended to dispute a decision just right at the end of the game. Yeah. And he went up to the ref and tipped a bucket of water over his head. It was all part of it. All part of it. The linesmen were in on it. One great bit of football comedy. Referees could be all right sometimes, and this one was very good. But I remember Ben making his debut when he was, he was in his mid-teens. Yeah. It's good to see the Whites involved. I'm really pleased to see them there. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, yeah. Any forum comes up, and if any podcast comes out before then, I'll make sure I advertise it.
Yeah, Ben was a good player. I played alongside Ben a few games for. I was actually in the reserves at the time. So that was where was I? That was almost coming up to sort of 2003, 4, something like that. Alongside him in the midfield there, he's a good player, really good player.
How was your hair then, Ben? Was it a comb over at the time? Your hair?
I ain't telling you. Don't worry about it like that.
No need for that, Chris. No need for that.
It's going. Mine's going now. Going back there.
Good.
It's obviously not that now, anyway.
Yeah.
But no. Dean and Ben, proper Hastings people.
Exactly.
I've got a lot of time for them. Obviously, I know them. I know Ben obviously quite really well, and Dean I'll chat away to him anyway, and he's very open, but they're ruthless, and I've already proved that.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Well, they got on with it, didn't they? They saw it needed sorting, and they went in there and they did that. And well done to them. Well done to them. Is Glyn White involved as well? Is he involved in some way with some of the youth set up there?
I think he's got some sort of role, because he was part of the the interim on Saturday, wasn't he? Along with Ben Cornelius, who's with the younger ones as well.
Yeah.
And Sean Ray, they kind of took an interim role on Billericay, didn't they? But I think they all have some sort of part with the academy.
Is Barry White involved at all?
No, that's one White we'll leave out, I think. Yeah. Just finishing off for me, another big bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Tom Chalmers is coming along well.
Really soon.
Yeah, fantastic. Be good to see him back.
December he's back, isn't he? Is that what last I heard?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Matt, obviously Matt is a relation of Tom. Didn't he say December, Ben? Or did he say November?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah, sort of end of November, December time. Yeah. I hope he's not rushed back. It's not like it's sort of end of the season business. It is. We'll be bang in the middle of the season. Just take his time with it.
Yeah, ease him back.
It's a big op he had, so it's.
I know, but he's young. He'll want to rush it back, wouldn't he?
He's eager to be back. And what's good about Tom as well is he's been with the team every single game. Like this season, from what I've seen, he's been there every game, pretty much all the training sessions. And he's obviously eager to get out there, but it's not a rush job, that's for sure.
Talking of people that have been there every game, your personal photographer's been there every game. You got anything to say about Scott White?
Why'd you always
Scott White?
Obviously,
I can't let it go, mate. I can't let it go. Scott White, every time, your big head's in the way. I tell you.
We've had three managers in the last 6 months. It just seems
the kiss of death, mate. Kiss of death.
I think this could be a wildest one. There won't be another one.
No, it won't be. Yeah, exactly. No, actually, absolutely. In Aggie, we trust, mate. English Jose, I can love him.
Yeah.
Right, boys.
Yeah.
Ben,
Yeah.
Ian, Simon, thanks for coming on. Take care, lads, and see you at the game. And I'll see you in January at the game, Simon.
You will, mate. I'll be there. I'll be there. All right, boys.
Take care, chaps.
See you later, Simon.
Yeah, mate.
Nice
Bye. Well, that's it for another episode, SBTS fans. If you want to get in contact with this podcast, the email is hufcpod@gmail.com. The Twitter, which is SBTSpod. Otherwise, go to the YouTube. Over 3.5 years of content on there. There's so many other ways to listen. However you get your podcast, we're on all platforms. Or go to the link tree, which is SBTS Podcast, and subscribe. It's all free. Remember, get yourselves to a game and support local football, whoever and wherever you're watching. And apart from that, see you at the game.